The main plot is Duke at UNC this weekend. And by the way, despite, I don't know, there's this weird, you know how sometimes it becomes cool to hate things that everybody likes? It's like, oh, you like, I don't know, pop music. Oh, I don't listen to that. I don't listen to underground stuff. It's like pop stands for popular because people like it. There's this weird pushback against Duke UNC. Like, oh, it's just a media. It's like a Hallmark holiday. No, has not lost any sizzle. I promise you, has not lost any sizzle. And this year, there are stakes. Different than some, like, you know, when they match up and they're both in the top 5, it's actually less stakes than you think, right? It's like, ooh, loser's going to fall to 8th in the country. That's not super stakey. This year, I believe UNC gets in the tourney with a win. I'm comfortable saying that. I know that, you know, some of the net rankings or some of the Ken Palms may not agree. I believe that the committee is made up of people, and they are just looking for any reason to put a brand like UNC in. If they beat Duke, that's all the justification they need. If UNC beats Duke, they get in the tourney. Stakes could not be higher.
I don't think there's any doubt about it. If they were hanging around the bubble earlier this season with their resume, and if with one of the best wins in the country, I think they'd definitely get in.
100%. And I don't think that's the only way they get in. I think if they make it to the ACC championship, whether they beat Duke or not next week, I think that's another angle. But you can end it on Saturday. Win, you're in. Duke stakes are also a little interesting. If Duke loses and Clemson and Louisville win this weekend, Duke is the 3 seed. Duke can go from one of the best ACC conference performances over their conference schedule that we've ever seen to the 3 seed in the ACC tournament if they lose to UNC, partially because of tiebreakers, right? Because in that case, Louisville, Clemson, and Duke will have kind of beaten each other in a triangle, right? Clemson will have beaten Duke, Duke will have beaten Louisville will have beaten Clemson. So that's tie all square. The tiebreaker would then be your record against the next highest ranked ACC team, which if UNC beats Duke, which in this case they do because Duke lost, then UNC is the next highest ranked, which means Duke would be 3rd because they're the only team that's lost to UNC, which would have happened over the weekend. Now, that may have been confusing. All you have to know is if Duke loses, they could fall as low to the 3rd seed, and Duke does not want that to happen. And then on top of that, for sizzle, the rivalry matters. It does. And if you want to be real, like, oh, I'm in the know, I know ball, UNC actually dislikes NC State more. Didn't you hear that one time that one former player said it on that one podcast? Fine, I'll agree with that. I don't actually, but I will. Like, I'll agree that they're close. Even if you go by that. Eyeballs make it important. Eyeballs make it important. Everyone is watching is enough to up the intensity. Right? Everybody's most embarrassing moment. It doesn't happen when no one saw it. If you slip, what do? You look around. Anybody see me? Nobody saw you? Cool. Walk it off. There's a crowd of 8th graders laughing at you? All right, now you're embarrassed. This is a game with a crowd of 8th graders laughing at you. That right there is enough to up the intensity. Michael Jordan, and I've referenced this a few times, Michael Jordan says he still gets asked more than, did you win the ACC? He gets asked, what was your record against Duke? And then on top of that, there's an interesting basketball matchup here. John Shire, head coach of Duke, admits and sees on film that UNC is playing their best ball.
Hubert and their staff have done a great job of, adapting and, continuing to evolve as a team. I think, obviously they're playing bigger, lineup changes, but they're ultimately playing the same guys. But I think the biggest thing that's different is just the confidence level that they're playing with, the aggressiveness, the cohesiveness. They're on the biggest winning streak from the season. They're scoring over 80 points a game. So I think the defensive challenge for us is going to be a big challenge. And then obviously playing at home, they played at a fast pace, and even faster, I think, the last couple of weeks. So for us, great respect for them, everything they've done, and I really feel they're playing their best basketball, that they've been playing all year.
Man, that's a lot of coach speak. Man, that is a lot of, I'm not saying anything that their coach can put on the bulletin board. Those guys are great. Those guys are awesome. Hubert, great coach. Players, great players. He literally went, they're playing bigger even though they're playing the same guys. Riddle me that. How does that mean? They're playing the same guys, but they're taller now? Is he saying that their players grew over the last month? They've been eating their Wheaties?
Must be the shoes.
Yeah, they went to Air Maxes. They got the bubble on in the heel, get an extra inch. I've done it. I've measured in at camps, going like we do this in sneakers, right? Good. I have my platforms on. Maybe that's it. The fact of the matter is, it's not a great matchup stylistically for UNC. Duke is one of, if not the tallest team in the country, depending on who's available, depending on who's hurt and who's not. They like in certain lineups, they are the tallest team on average in the country. UNC has struggled with size. Hey, we don't cover the pass well. Well, you're playing 2013 Peyton Manning. Like it's a bad matchup. But in the rivalry, oftentimes you throw out the scheme, right? In the rivalry, sometimes it's something as simple as Cormac Ryan's going to hit 100 threes and you're going to get 31 from him. Who cares what the schematic matchup is if a certain player gets hot? And UNC has what I believe is the most important part towards a uncharacteristic hot streak right now. Not talent. It's not experience. It's not any of that. It's confidence. Right? If you need a guy to hit 4 threes that hasn't been hitting threes, the thing you need to get him injected with is confidence. The best coaches instill confidence in their players, regardless of what's going on. UNC right now is overflowing with confidence. And that, to me, is the difference between UNC against Duke this time and UNC against Duke last time. Now, here's the real kicker. Duke also has a ton of confidence right now. Right? The hard part about sitting here and hyping up what UNC has done is everything UNC has done, Duke has been doing just a little bit better. Or in some cases, a lot a bit better. Right? I talked about it yesterday, that the Virginia Tech win for UNC a couple of nights ago felt monumental. It felt huge, right? It felt very, very big because they looked like a mile ahead of a middle-of-the-pack ACC team. They won by 32 points, and that felt seismic until you recognize the last 4 games all against power conference opponents, 3 of them in the ACC. Duke's won by at least 33. It's everything like, oh, UNC has all the confidence in the world. They haven't lost an X amount of games. It's like, well, Duke's only lost a couple all year. Hubert Davis is figuring out how to push the buttons of this team, right? They've started slow a few times, go into a timeout. Hubert Davis lays into them a bit. They come out playing much better. We talked about that with John Shire and Cooper Flagg months ago. Remember at the halftime, he was telling Cooper Flagg, you're playing soft? And then Cooper Flagg came out and dunked on a bunch of people, and we're like, boom. That was months earlier than the same conversation we're having about UNC. UNC looks confident. You find me someone more confident looking on the court than Isaiah Evans even. And he comes off the bench a lot of times for Duke. He comes off the bench, and within 4 seconds of being on the court, he's launched 2 threes. He's clapped a bunch, and he's done the, I don't know what the thing is, where you put the 3 fingers over your face to make a mask. He's done that. He's been on the court for like 12 seconds. I'd be surprised if Duke lost, but it wouldn't be the first time I'd be surprised by a game in the UNC-Duke rivalry, particularly when the road team is the favorite. Should be a good one. Should have a ton of stakes. UNC's playing for their NCAA tournament hopes. Duke's playing for the number 1 seed in the ACC tournament and their place in history as far as best regular season ACC squads that we've had in a very long time.